15 lost financial habits that made our grandparents rich. Welcome to this explainer. Let me ask you something right off the bat. When was the last time you felt genuinely, physically in control of your money? And I don't just mean tracking numbers on a screen or watching your account balance refresh with that satisfying little swoosh. I mean feeling the physical weight of it, watching it leave your hands and knowing with absolute, unshakable certainty that you aren't being quietly drained by invisible fees or algorithmic nudges. You see, in our digital age, spending has become psychologically weightless. So today, we're going to investigate exactly how the analog financial tools of the past quietly outsmarted our modern, hyper-optimized banking apps. We're diving deep into 15 lost habits that built incredible generational wealth and discovering why a faded paper envelope might just be a more powerful tool than the supercomputer sitting in your pocket right now. Just look at the contrast here. On the left, we've got your grandmother's paper envelopes, tangible, high friction, and full of very visible boundaries. Once the envelope is empty, it's empty. On the right, we have modern AI banking apps, frictionless, invisible, and literally engineered to optimize for speed. Every single time you tap your phone to pay, you are completely bypassing the neurological pain of paying. Our grandparents' tools outperformed modern apps for one simple, brilliant reason. They didn't fight human psychology, they weaponized it. Section 1. The Kitchen Drawer Economy.
Section 2. 3 Foundational Wealth Habits. Let's break down the behavioral economics underneath the big 3 pillars here.
Okay, so think about the simple act of taking physical cash and dividing it up into labeled envelopes. This actually leverages 2 massive psychological concepts: mental accounting and loss aversion. When your grandfather took his weekly paycheck and divided it into specific envelopes for groceries, rent, and fun, he was creating a physical, completely non-negotiable boundary. When we spend digital money today, our brain barely even registers it. But parting with physical cash, that actually triggers the pain centers in your brain. It literally hurts to hand it over. And that built-in loss aversion forces a hard, immediate boundary on your spending.
And the data backs this up beautifully. A 2024 Stanford study looked at cash envelope users versus people who strictly use digital apps. The results? Cash users had 41% less overspending, 33% less credit card utilization, and, here's the real kicker, they reported 58% more financial control. The tactile feedback loop of physical cash literally alters consumer behavior. You really can't out an algorithm that's designed to make you spend, but you can definitely out-psychology it with physical friction.
Now, let's move on to our second major habit, the Christmas Club account. If you remember these, you know they were an absolute masterclass in behavioral commitment. Here's how it worked. You deposit a few dollars a week, the funds were completely locked away, and the bank would issue you a check right before the holidays. It protected your money from your future self by making your savings beautifully, intentionally illiquid. You couldn't just swipe to transfer funds because you had a Tuesday night impulse to buy something on Amazon.
Which brings us perfectly to the third big pillar, layaway. Now, layaway is fundamentally different from the buy now, pay later or BNPL schemes we see everywhere today. Layaway meant you saved first, earned the reward, carried absolutely zero debt, and delayed your dopamine hit. BNPL? Well, it front-loads the reward, gives you instant gratification, and traps you in hidden debt. Layaway wasn't a tool for people who were broke. It was a psychological circuit breaker that forced a cooling-off period between desire and ownership.
Just to put that into perspective, check out this 2025 data from the CFPB. Almost half, 47%, of buy now, pay later purchases are for non-essential discretionary items. But here's the crazy part. 39% of users admitted they would have reconsidered the purchase entirely if they were forced to wait just 7 days. When you collapse desire and delivery into the exact same millisecond, you completely bypass the discipline that the old layaway system was perfectly designed to test.
Section 3. 12 everyday analog habits. We're going to rapid fire through these. All right, so these first 4 are all about using physical effort instead of your wallet. We've got Use It Up, which ensured absolutely nothing went to waste. Then there's Sunday Gravy, a massive batch cooking session that saved you from the expensive Wednesday night panic of, what are we doing for dinner? The Mending Basket, where taking the time to fix a shirt actually created the IKEA effect, meaning you valued the shirt more because you put sweat equity into it. And Learn a Trade, favoring your own elbow grease over hiring an expensive handyman. These habits drastically cut down on modern consumption waste by making labor a direct substitute for spending. Next up, how they mastered long-term assets and planning. Stay in one home, avoided the massive transaction fees of constantly moving, letting the endowment effect build true equity over 30 years.
The one-car family habit meant embracing the mild annoyance of coordinating schedules, but it saved them tens of thousands of dollars a year. The pantry was their secret weapon against inflation, buying bulk staples to literally lock in past prices. And the rainy day fund wasn't just some generic digital savings account. It was a physical stack of cash specifically set aside for when the roof inevitably leaked. And finally, they leaned heavily on their community and strict rules. Social Christmas clubs were neighborhood lending pots, fueled entirely by pure trust, not bank interest. The unbreakable cash-only rule meant absolutely zero financing outside of a mortgage, period. Bartering built vital social capital instead of just paying for services. And the guilt ledger acted as spiritual accountability for every single dime spent. By relying on each other and their own rigid rules, they essentially bypassed Wall Street altogether.
Section 4, the convenience conspiracy. This is where things get really interesting. So here is the uncomfortable truth. Why did banks deliberately kill these incredibly effective consumer products? The answer lies in this staggering number, $1.28 trillion in record U.S. credit card debt. Banks didn't abandon the envelope system, layaway, or Christmas clubs because they were outdated tech. Not at all. They abandoned them because a customer who uses them, a customer who spends only what they have and saves in advance, is a low-margin customer. They killed the products because they worked too well for you and not well enough for their shareholders.
I love this quote from George Lowenstein, a lead researcher over at Carnegie Mellon University. He hit the nail on the head when he said credit cards effectively anesthetize the pain of paying. This neurological fact is exactly why banks prioritize reducing what they call decision latency. When money moves invisibly, silently, and without your conscious physical intervention, you make mistakes. And the banking system profits wildly from the friction of your mistakes, through overdrafts, late fees, and compounding interest. If we put these two models side by side, the reality of bank profits is crystal clear. In the analog model, using envelopes and layaway, the result is consumer solvency. Great for you, right? But the bank gets zero interchange fees and zero interest. The digital model, however, yields $15 billion in overdraft fees, 24% average APRs, and massive interchange volume. Following the deregulation of the 1980s, the financial industry realized that an informed, disciplined consumer actively undermined their most profitable lending products.
Section 5, reclaiming financial friction. Let's talk about what we can actually do about this.
The good news? You do not have to be a victim of an environment optimized for bank profits. You can hack modern tools to recreate that analog friction today. Step 1. Go back to physical cash for your weekend and discretionary spending so you can actually feel that pain of paying again. Step 2. Digitally rebuild the envelope system. You can do this by forcing annoying 48-hour transfer delays across multiple bank accounts so you can't just easily swipe from savings to checking. Step 3. Put your savings in a cage. Actually, make it incredibly inconvenient to touch your own money by using 4-week T-bills or locked maturity accounts to act as your modern Christmas club. You can also completely restore that layaway mindset by enforcing your own strict waiting periods. The 72-hour DIY layaway rule is super simple. You see it, you want it, you wait 3 days. And if you still want it after that cooling off period, you fund it with cash. This creates a powerful boundary, short-circuiting the impulse buy and aligning your spending directly with your patience. So I'll leave you with this. Tomorrow, when you open your banking app, I want you to ask yourself, does this interface exist to keep me in control or to quietly extract my wealth? Remember, paper envelopes didn't magically make your grandmother rich. Her engineered discipline did. The tools just held the boundary. It's time for you to reclaim that boundary and rebuild the friction. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I've got a challenge for you. Try funding your next weekend entirely with paper cash. Are you brave enough to feel the pain of paying again?